I literally just got off work and I absolutely had to fire up my camera because I am upset. And what am I upset about? Let's talk about Majah Hype for a minute because he's canceled. Earlier this week, Majah Hype took to live and was saying that there's this guy whose ass he wanted to beat, an unnamed soca artist that violated him, and he talked really vague about this, and everybody all week long has been trying to figure out who ass Majah Hype want to beat.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, I'm about to whip somebody's ass.
Trying to figure out whose ass Majah Hype wants to beat. Just last night, Majah Hype took to Instagram and was showering random people with wonderful blessings, people that were having like a really hard time getting by in life during the Christmas season. And a follower actually sat there and tagged me on the live, and I actually joined in and watched, and I was leaving comments. I was really happy. I was like, this is beautiful. This is what the holiday spirit is about. It's about blessing people that do not have, and it's not even what the holiday spirit is about. It's about what's being a really good human being. And so I thought that maybe Majah Hype was just doing this video because there was just too much negativity surrounding the whole who he wants to fight controversy. And I thought maybe he just decided that, you know, it was the holiday season and he wanted to turn things around and be more positive. So I was like, yeah, kudos. Where everything went completely left as I was about to get in my bed last night, a follower, well, actually several followers forwarded me Majah Hype's wife's her Instagram live video that essentially called Majah Hype out on a long term of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. And so I was really confused. I was like, why is this happening at the same time? Was Majah Hype, did he know that this video was coming and he decided to try to distract the public with this? Like, what's going on here? And so I listened to her video, and I was very disturbed. Hell no! So in the very beginning of her video, you can tell like she's like really not comfortable, but it feels like she's like something that she's like obligated to do. And what was really like a telltale of a woman that has been abused is right off the bat, she goes into the video and she chooses to apologize for her friends and family for, you know, not being there and not, you know, being communicative and things like that. But she also goes on to explain that the very same people that she relied on for emotional support would essentially ask questions as to whether or not it was her fault that she was enduring this abuse. She literally said,
letting people know in your circle what's going on with you, and their first question is, well, what did you do? As if there was anything that I could have done to deserve that. That's disgusting to me.
System is legitimately normalizing physical abuse, and that was just not okay. Like, where are we as Black people where we are still normalizing physical abuse? This is not the color purple.
No, sir. I expected of mine.
Own friends, family, or whomever she was confiding in pretty much saying, well, what did you do? Blaming. So why wouldn't she detach herself and be quiet? Why wouldn't she not even say anything? Why wouldn't she disconnect from the same people that are going to criticize her for welcoming this abuse? What you guys are witnessing is textbook abusive situations. This is the textbook response of women that are in these situations and they just don't know how to get out. They are made prisoners by silence. And unfortunately, it's one of these situations, especially in our Black community, where people are made silent by not just the abuser, but people that are supposed to be in their support system. And it's not as if the video wasn't disturbing enough. What was also disturbing is some of the comments that I read in response to her video. For the most part, 98% of those comments were nothing but showering of support and well wishes, prayers, and strength. That's amazing. That's what we need in our Black communities. But what was also disturbing is that I saw comments of people saying that something's not right about this. There's two sides of the story. Yeah, there's two sides of the story, but like, are we really gonna argue about a woman getting her ass beat on a regular basis? I mean, are you serious? On top of that, let's not even talk about the fact that the biggest thing that's like, and then it triggers me because it's something that I went through as a kid growing up and finally starting to open up about my abuse, is people would say, well, what took you so long to speak about your abuse? And so I would tell people, like, when they're in abusive situations, you will never know the walk if you've never worn the shoes. In situations like her or a lot of women, you're made prisoner by being silent. And then on top of that, you're made to feel responsible for your poor treatment. An expert manipulator is going to tell you that you're difficult to love, that you're not worthy, Tara, that you're not worthy of love, and make you feel like, you know what, I should just go ahead and accept this right here because this is as good as it's gonna get because I'm already difficult to love and not worthy, and I should just be happy that I have somebody in my life that loves and provides for me. That is the dynamic that is created in these situations, and what she's speaking to is exactly that toxic dynamic where a woman is made to feel not worthy, difficult to love, and that she should just accept whatever she deserves or whatever she's going to. Manipulators and abusers are really, really good at making the victim feel that they are responsible for their bad behavior. And if they just acted within the right and left limits of what the abuser wanted, they would never get beaten, abused, or what have you. That's what they do. For example, if you watch the video, she pretty much illuminated the fact that he would do things and not even allow her to even think about what was happening to her, because he would either cut himself or say that he's sick. He would literally, while she has not had time to tend to her wounds, implement wounds on himself for her to take care of. It creates this toxic, you wounded me, but this is why, and I need you. I need you to take care of me. It's almost like they're literally sucking your soul dry because they're harming you, but at the same time making you feel like they need you. And so that motherly instinct kicks in, and instead of like completely like ignoring the fact that you're bleeding, you will go and tend to his wounds. And because you are taking care of you and he's reaching out to you and he's like, you know, you're taking such good care of me, that freaking dynamic just stays. And it's like a never-ending cycle. If you guys take a look at the cycle of abuse, she is basically talking about exactly what is happening in that dynamic, in that. So one of the other responses that really bothered me was that people were saying, well, don't be surprised if she shows up a couple years later saying that Majah Hype is a deadbeat dad because he can't pay his child support. And my response to that was, so you expect this woman to accept ass whoopings for child support payments?
How, Sway?
And it also just it just also illuminates the fact that we have this mentality still that women are not self-sufficient, as if she won't be able to take care of her children or take care of her own. We have to stop looking at these people as purely victims and survivors that are completely capable of rising above this occasion without somebody's wealth. How anybody can actually sit there and say there's two sides of the story to this kind of abusive dynamic. Absolutely, there's two sides of the story. But if you follow the trends lately, the second side of the story has been clearly painted, because instead of Majah Hype going public or having some sort of healthy response to what she was saying, he instead decided to leak a video of her having sex with somebody that was stolen from her phone. That was his response, people. That tells you what type of dynamic. That is your second side of the story. We don't need to hear anything else. Talk about the fact that, I'm sorry, but revenge porn is a serious issue to me. If you've never been a victim of revenge porn, you will never know what it's like to be violated on that level. On top of that, I think as a Black community, we need to do a better job of not weaponizing sex. That's another topic, because sex is a natural act. For some reason, if a video leaked of a man having sex with a woman. The guy is like the man. Everybody's rooting and cheering this man on. But for some reason, there are people that believe that a video of the woman having sex is a weapon. And that shit needs to stop. People, if you ever have a friend or family member that comes to you and they tell you that they're being abused, one of the things to not do is to ask them what took them so long, or why are you just now coming out with it? Like I said, if you've never walked the walk, you will never know what their shoes feel like. There's no way that as a person that's not been in that situation, you can ever understand the psychology that is involved with that abuse, that abusive dynamic. You're never going to understand it. On top of that, the biggest thing that you can do for somebody in that situation is listen to them. And don't get frustrated if they listen to you and they don't do what you think that they should do, because at the end of the day, it is a heavy psychological, spiritual, emotional process that the woman or the victim, whether it be a male too, because this happens to men too, that they have to be able to see themselves out of. They have to see themselves out of it themselves. And a lot of times in these situations, it's never going to be at your pace. People say all the time, oh yeah, you should have left the first time he hit you. Why didn't you? Or some people say, oh, if that was me, I would have. Well, the fact of the matter is, you're not that person and you've never been in that person's shoes. So listen to them. Don't get frustrated with them if they continue to go back. Well, get frustrated because that's a natural response. But don't be surprised if they continue to go back and forward in this situation before they finally decide at a certain moment, and you'll never understand the moment they decide to reclaim their power. And then when they do, just be there and be supportive and non-judgmental of these people. At the end of the day, we already know that our Black community is continued to be plagued by abuse, whether it be against our Black women or our Black girls. And I applaud her because we are illuminating this issue, because people think that abusers have a look. Abusers are charming, especially your narcissistic abusers. They are charming, they are intelligent, and they just have a fantastic way of covering this stuff up. So I'm glad that she came out with this, because now we know that abuse comes in various faces and that we should be prepared to provide support to anybody that decides to speak out and come forward and claim their healing and their own power. Majah Hype is canceled, and that's not a discussion that I'm not going to argue that point. And but at the same time, I'm not going to tell you to cancel Majah Hype. You have to decide what you think is best for yourself. There's a lot of other funny people out there. I think I'm gonna be okay. But let me tell you something, when it comes down to our cancel culture, let it not be a temporary cancellation. We need to maintain that energy. And let's not wait until we're having these horribly adverse outcomes like R. Kelly. Maintain that energy. For example, seems like everybody seems to have forgiven Marcus Evan Prime, and I don't fucking understand that at all. Like, you mean to tell me that this man openly admitted to disrespecting Black women and targeting young girls, and all he had to say is, I'm working on me and getting counseling, and everybody loves him again? That's that bullshit. We need to stop that, because at the end of the day, just like alcoholics and drug addicts, abusers will always be abusers. They will just be recovered abusers, and they don't deserve to be put up on a pedestal because they're working on themselves. But that's my 10 cents on it. I'm not gonna go. I can go into this all night. I'm not gonna do that. But that's my 10 cents. I've said what I said, and I'm gonna leave it at that. If you like my content, be sure to hit that like or subscribe button. I will occasionally, depending on what's going on in the world, drop some live videos. Also got some carnival content coming as well. I'm one person with a whole lot of ideas, and I can't do them all at once. But thank you so much for your support, and we'll talk soon.